Well, that was an odd episode of Dynamite, but Dynamite nonetheless. Thank you again for joining me here. I'm Ajo Chill and Love, here for another AEW Dynamite review. The week before winter is coming, and there are jam packing and lining up more for winter's coming and laying out more of the foundation for the rest of the year and to start the year. Some good stuff. Dynamite tonight was in Long Island, the UBS Center. MJF's hometown. And this was the reflection of the night. MJF, the salt of the earth, the scum of the earth, whichever you want to call, the top heel in the business, per se, or the best bad guy in the business, got cheered tonight in Long Island, New York. Now, it's his hometown, and despite him being as top of a heel as he is, still, it's his hometown, and CM Punk got booed. CM Punk got booed. Now, at Full Gear last month, CM Punk faced Eddie Kingston, and everyone loves Eddie Kingston. So, I mean, that was the first time really that he got booed, per se, since his arrival in AEW. And here tonight, he came out to start the show, and boy, was he egging the crowd on, and he was the heel for the night, pretty much, because they support MJF. It was just an odd sighting. I know it's hometown, but still a bit surprising. But anyway, with those thoughts out of the way, let's get into the review now, shall we? By the way, if you like this video and if you want to see more, click that subscribe. By the way, for those who listen to my Dynamite and Rampage reviews, there was no Rampage review on Saturday. I tried to upload it and record it, but I had issues uploading it for whatever reason, so just didn't get an upload on Saturday. But back here again, so get a Dynamite review Thursday or tomorrow, and then Rampage review on Saturday. So things will be back to normal this weekend. So AEW Dynamite. So it was thought to open up with MJF, the hometown boy. MJF, his music played, and a nice reception to his music. But it was not Maxwell Jacob Freeman that came out. It was CM Punk. He came out, and boy, did the boos start coming. The MJF Pro crowd did not like CM Punk come out and he soaked in as much as possible. He was trashing about the New York Islanders, saying how they can't hit a puck in the net, saying how they haven't won anything since '84. He said he felt sorry for them for being pro MJF. He actually had a shirt on where, quote, the 4 pillars of AEW. And it had Sammy Guevara, it had Darby Allin, it had Jungle Boy, but it did not have MJF. In his place, it had Britt Baker. So, interesting touch for that shirt. And just a weird opener. Weird, but again, it's adding to that feud for MJF and CM Punk. And he said that he was paying attention to the match next week between Bryan and Hangman, saying he's looking for the winner to get the next shot for the AEW Championship, and he knows MJF will look for it too since they got this thing going. Again, lining up for a match between the two, and we'll get it eventually. But yeah, just a weird open to the show. And then I mean, I was kind of hoping that this would be the main event because they're in Long Island and MJF's home crowd, but yet the main event they did. So a video package played of MJF coming out of a car, narrating nicely, talk about his accomplishments with the Dynamite Diamond Ring, talking about his accomplishments in school with acapella, choir, football team, just basking in MJF, playing up to the fact. And then we finally get MJF's music again. And this time it's MJF's music comes out. And you can tell. I mean, yes, he's such a good heel. And he will stay true to his work. But tonight you saw a bit of the genuine side of MJF, I would say. He was joyful on the top of the stage. He got on his knees, like CM Punk does in his entrance. Yeah, CM Punk, like, he was moving his hands back and forth, like how CM Punk used to do many times in AEW and WWE. And he didn't jump in the crowd, but he did show off near the crowd area towards the ramp. Many fans were pro MJF. Many were happy. He got cheers. This Battle Royal was strange based off of that. I mean, just felt very different. So, in the Battle Royal, it was MJF, Wardlow, Team Taz, Jay Lethal, Matt Hardy, Frank Kazarian, Lee Johnson, Lee Moriarty, Matt Sydal, and Leo Rush. So, good slew of talent, obviously, in this Battle Royal. So, also the funny thing, too, about the Battle Royal, with them being in Long Island and them being pro MJF, it made Wardlow and Shawn Spears baby faces for the night, which was weird and different on that side as well. So, Wardlow, he dumped Moriarty over the top rope, eliminating him. The bunny. She handed the brass knucks to Matt Hardy. He knocked out Jay Lethal, and Jay Lethal was dumped over by Matt Hardy. A little disappointed that Jay Lethal didn't last longer. However, if I would not mind a Matt Hardy Jay Lethal feud, he's a veteran, and funny thing is that these two worked together for a period of time in TNA that started 2010, 2011. So they have history there. So a little bit interesting. Obviously, Jay Lethal is still relatively new to AEW, so I can sort of get. What I like, though, about their Battle Royals is they have hints in their Battle Royals where they use them to kind of set up feuds as well. So I like that aspect of them. So then Hobbs, he had a bit of a confrontation with Wardlow, the two big bulls going at it, and the Battle Royal. Hobbs wound up on the apron. Leo Rush eliminated him with a heel kick to the head, knocked him to the floor. Sad knocked him out. MJF, in the heel MJF fashion, he was hiding in the top turnbuckle. Every time he would get close to being eliminated, it would be boos raining, and then every time he came close for some offense, he would get cheered. So, very weird. So then, it was a triple team. Wardlow was getting triple teamed by Johnson, Rush, and Moriarty. I believe Sydal, and MJF eliminated all of them. And obviously, Wardlow did not like this decision. The crowd loved it, but not Wardlow. Again, a little more seating, a little more soil planted in this eventual Wardlow MJF split. So then it came down to the final three. It was Dante Martin, Ricky Starks, and MJF. With the final two obviously facing next week at Winter is Coming for the Dynamite Diamond Ring. So, obviously, with Dante Martin signing with Team Taz, this came to blows to be the 2-on-1 advantage of Team Taz, Starks, and Dante teaming up on MJF. And just when it looked like they were going to gang up on MJF, Dante Martin pulls a swerve. Like many of us kind of figured. He eliminated Ricky Starks and down to MJF and Dante Martin next week for the Dynamite Diamond Ring. So Taz was livid on commentary. You know, Team Taz did not like it as well. It was hilarious. So MJF and Dante shook hands, and MJF raised the hand of Dante. So then he went up the ramp, and Ricky Starks was back in the ring, went for the attack on Dante, and the crowd, was egging on MJF. MJF was like, maybe should I go help him out? Should I leave? So he looked like he was like, screw it, walked to the back. And then he had a change of heart. He ran to the ring, got in Ricky Starks' face. They started pushing each other, but then it became a double team of Starks and MJF attacking Dante Martin, and they didn't care. The crowd, I don't think they cared because, pro MJF. And then CM Punk ran out and hits GTS on Ricky Starks. MJF fled the scene, so just bizarre land for Dynamite. So we got an interesting 8-man tag for the top tag teams in the tag division. Jurassic Express, who I have a feeling, based on what Christian Cage has noted recently, I have a feeling they'll be gunning for the tag titles at Battle of the Belts. And there's when we'll see Christian Cage turn on Jurassic Express. That's my opinion. I'm sure many could have alluded to, but it has not been touted for Winter is Coming, so perhaps they're saving it for Battle of the Belts with Lucha Brothers. But they teamed here with Varsity Blondes. Good to see them again. First 2.0 and the Acclaimed, that Eddie Kingston was going to get involved in this match based on the history with 2.0. So, also good to see the Acclaimed again and 2.0 back in action. So, most of this match was beat down on Brian Pillman Jr. Eventually got the hot tag to Luchasaurus. Took out all 2.0 and the Acclaimed. Chokeslam Bowens on Caster. Made a tag to Jungle Boy. Or he got a blind tag actually. And it looked like Caster was getting the advantage. And Jungle Boy is going in for the finish, but Daniel Garcia, who's in the corner 2.0, got on the apron and tried to distract the referee. Eddie Kingston came out, took care of Garcia, backed away, and after a missed mic drop, Jungle Boy locked in the snare trap on Caster. Caster tapped, and Jungle Boy, Jurassic Express, and Varsity Blondes get the win here. I mean, we knew with what they're pushing that Jurassic Express gets a win, and prediction is still, like I said just now, that it'll be presumably Lucha Brothers versus Jurassic Express at Battle of the Belts, January 8th. We got FTR and Tony Blanchard backstage. Boy, it's so good to see him with the AEW, or excuse me, AAA Mega Tag Team titles. And Cash Wheeler cut a very good promo. And talked about how they've never been beaten by the Lucha Brothers. Their one victory was a fluke. And that Friday will be their chance to be on their way to becoming the greatest tag team of all time. Dax Harwood said, top guys out. So challenge laid out, and it was confirmed later in the show. The match we were supposed to get on Friday, although I don't think it'll be 2 out of 3 falls. But still, Lucha Brothers, FTR, tag team titles on the line on Rampage Friday. So there we go. So we got the Young Bucks. First time in action since Full Gear. Kind of crazy. It's been a month since Full Gear, but the time has flown. And that was the last time we saw the Young Bucks in action. Here they return versus Rocky Romero and Chuck Taylor. Good match. We know Chuck Taylor and Rocky Romero can both bring it. What happened after match was the bigger story, but nonetheless a good match between these four. So it kind of picked up starting on the outside when all four men got outside the ring. So Taylor was being floated in between the apron by Matt Jackson, and it was a flowing senton by Nick off the apron onto Chuck Taylor. Then they followed with another, this time off the ropes in the ring. Gave the advantage for the Bucks going in the break. And then back in the ring, Orange Cassidy tried to get involved, help out Romero and Taylor, but already managed to hit the kicks on Adam Cole, but was met with a super kick by Matt Jackson. And then big tag to Rocky Romero. He took out the Bucks. He hit a running slice spread for a near fall. Chuck hit a soul food on Matt Jackson on the outside. Romero and Matt were exchanging in the middle of the ring while the referee was distracted by Brandon Cutler. Brandon Cutler accidentally sprayed the cold spray in Matt Jackson's eyes, led to a pile driver by Chuck, followed with a jackknife cover by Romero for a near fall. Then, again, Romero and Matt Jackson were exchanging in the middle of the ring, and eventually Romero got caught with a Meltzer driver by the Bucks for the win. The Bucks get the win in their return match after a month since Full Gear, and was a big attack by Superclick on Romero and Taylor. Utah came out for a save, but to no avail. And now all of a sudden we heard the Best Friends music play. And what you know, we see a van we have not seen in a while. Trent Beretta's mom, Sue. Her van she was driving. She got a big pop in Long Island. But that was not just it. Out of the van, Trent of the Best Friends, who we have not seen in months, who had spinal surgery. He looked great. Obviously, got a kiss from his mother. Came down to the ring, was heated, his spear on color, and took out the Bucks. And the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy and Romero stood tall in the ring. And Chris Statlander, she helped Sue to the ring, and it's one big joyful moment. You know, last time we saw Trent, I believe last time we saw Trent was before the, I believe it was before AEW got back on the road. So, really his first time being in front of a live crowd, I would say, if I'm not mistaken, since for a year and a half. So that's a crazy feat for itself. But good to see Trent back. You know, we've seen Chuck Taylor and we've seen tag with Orange Cassidy and with Utah, and obviously with Chaos helping Romero, Tomohiro Ishii coming in. You know, it's been good, but it has been really the Best Friends. And I know that with the abundance of tag teams in AEW, and with new teams presumably coming in, like, say, the Briscoes, for one, from Ring of Honor, and others, you know, the Best Friends are a good tag team. They aren't a top of the barrel tag team, especially with this great tag team division, but They're tag team that adds. They're a good fit for the division. And also, with Orange Cassidy and with the eventual trio styles that are going to come in to AEW, Best Friends and Orange Cassidy can be a viable trio to fit, assuming Trent stays healthy. A viable fit for the trio styles as well. So, good stuff. Happy to see Trent back. And yeah. So then Cody Rhodes. Everybody's favorite Cody Rhodes. So Sammy Guevara was out there being interviewed by Tony Schiavone on the stage. Then Cody Rhodes, what do you know? He comes out of a tunnel. So he came out and addressed that Tony Khan signed it for Christmas Day that it'll be Cody Rhodes for Sammy Guevara for the TNT Championship on Christmas night. This is really gonna stroke the fans. I can envision the comments already, you know, online. But look, first of all, it's good to see Cody be okay after that dangerous spot through the flaming table last week in that street fight for Andrade. But he's contending for the TNT Championship against Sammy Guevara. And also, it's another open challenge. Now, wouldn't it be just the heel thing for Cody to win the title for a third time from Sammy on Christmas? That would just be the heelish of things. Now, and they also, it's still an open challenge, and I'm sure everybody, including me, is waiting for Sammy to have a meaningful feud for the TNT Championship now that he's champion, because he's had good open challenge matches, and obviously he was associated with that American Top Team Inner Circle feud. That match happened at Full Gear. He's had good matches, Jay Lethal, Bobby Fish, etc. But he hasn't had that big feud yet. And maybe this is just a benchmark or a speed bump to get him to the end of the year, perhaps, for him to have a feud in 2022, or it's just a thought, but we'll see. But it can go really either way. I mean, again, I love Cody, but with this stuff, it's just ammunition for the crowd to continue to hate and fans that hate on him. So funny touch as well. So he looked like he was going to leave to the other tunnel, but instead he turned around and went back through the tunnel that he walked out from. So there's that. Men of the Year, Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page. I was pleasantly surprised to see that Scorpio Sky was ranked number 3 in the contenders list for the rankings. I guess I have to watch Dark more, but stunning. And I guess that probably played into the segment, but Man of the Year, they were in the press box, and Ethan Page was complaining about, well, why does Cody Rhodes get to jump the line? I had to earn my TNT title shot, and they don't pay attention to the rankings. You know, they didn't say it, but Scorpio Sky, number 3 rank. So Scorpio Sky was begging for Sammy to act like a champion, and they said that won't be the last they see of American Top Team and Dan Lambert. So good stuff there that we will see Dan Lambert back. He is a heel heat magnet, and when he gets back, it's only gonna help the Man of the Year. And also, I have to say, based on that segment, like they said, the Man of the Year, American Top Team, and Inner Circle feud does not seem to be over. So then we got what was a solid women's match. Jamie Hayter versus Riho. So obviously, Jamie Hayter, Britt Baker's heavy, trying to take out Riho before the championship match for Britt Baker eventually, which I'm assuming will be a Battle of the Belts. But this was a very good match. At the end of it, it really picked up the pace towards the end. So, big dragon suplex by Riho for a near fall. I mean, Sheamus, used to. I'm not sure if he does it now. I don't watch Raw or SmackDown anymore, but that Irish Curse backbreaker he would sometimes do. Hayter did on Riho for a near fall. Riho hit a code red and then a diving foot stomp also for a near fall. Eventually, she hit the Somato for the win. And after it was a beatdown by Rebel and Britt Baker. Post-match, lockjaw by Britt Baker. And yeah, this match is going to have, Riho, you look at her, she's a Joshi. She's a small woman, and it's hard to look at her and take her seriously, but she can produce good women's matches. But yeah, this match, and we know she's had good matches with Nyla Rose. But yeah, Riho, I'm sure her and Britt Baker will have a good match. And obviously, I didn't like how they got to this match with Riho being Britt Baker last week or on Black Friday, but nonetheless, it's going to be a good match between her and the Doctor. Lineup for Rampage Friday. Lucha Brothers versus FTR for the AEW World Tag Team titles. Should be a good match. Ty Conti, Anna Jay, and Ruby Soho to face Nyla Rose, Penelope Ford, and the Bunny, and Trios women's match on Friday. Also, Adam Cole for Wheeler Yuta, and the debut of Hook. Taz's son, Hook, finally gets in the ring. Finally, the young stud gets in the ring for Fuego del Sol. Should be interesting. You know, Fuego, we know, has experience and he's the master of the Tornado DT. First Hook. See how far Hook has come in his training and see what he brings. That's the lineup for Rampage. Couple matches added to Winter's Coming for next week on Dynamite. We know that Hangman Adam Page will face Bryan Danielson in the main event for the world title. But we also got MJF versus Dante Martin for the Dynamite Diamond Ring. Should be an interesting task. Things will be back to normal. MJF will be booed and ridiculed. And we got Serena Deeb versus Sakal Shida. Another interesting match based on their feud that they've been having. Interesting there. Get to the main event. So, Bryan Danielson versus John Silvers, Johnny Hungy. So we know, Bryan Danielson is operating at a very extreme pace. I listened to Tony Khan's interview on Wrestling, Barstool Wrestling, and he talked about Bryan Danielson, talking about his work rate, wanting to wrestle a lot, and just this rate, what he's done this year in total, first from WWE, now to AEW, it's just remarkable. And obviously, you know, the last few weeks he's been running through the Dark Order. Here is John Silvers, who was an interesting feat, but he managed to pull out the victory. So, a little bit of a scare though. So, Danielson went for a hurricanrana off the top rope, or it looked like, but Silvers countered into a powerbomb. And Bryan, we know with the concussion issues, his head whiplashed off the mat. And they wound up into a kick fest, exchanging kicks. Both these guys are ruse. Silvers, he locked it. We've seen Bryan, the savvy veteran, lock in so many submissions the last number of weeks for victories. This time it was John Silver's getting a leg lock on Bryan and made him have to think twice and have him scramble to the ropes. But he did. Silver's got sent on the outside. Back in the ring, Silver's went for a German suplex, but Danielson landed on his feet, hit a roundhouse kick, rocked Silver's, went for his running knee, but counted to a roll up for near fall. Bryan was tripped on the metal rope, kicked to the back of the head by Silver's, and a German suplex for near fall. Then eventually Bryan got the advantage again and hit a power driver, God style power driver on Silver's, and then locked in a head and arm. I'm not sure the camera angle was on. Couldn't really see it, but he locked in a head and arm lock, and Silver's passed out, and or it looked like he was already out from the pile driver, but yeah. Simple as that. After that, Bryan, he got on the microphone, talked about how the last few weeks he's kicked all the members of the Dark Order's heads in, but then you realize, well, he's a man of his word. He did not kick the head of John Silver's. So when referees were checking on him, he went to stomp Silver's head in, but Hangman Page came out rushing to the ring for the save, and Bryan fled the scene. Hangman Page said to Bryan he will stomp the cowboy shit out of him next week. Should be fun, interesting match next week. Winter's coming. I already can't wait with how far Hangman has come and the work rate Bryan is on. It's only going to be fun collision course. But yeah, it felt like Bizarro Land tonight for Dynamite, but next week, winter's coming. Should be fun. Should be interesting in Texas. But that's the review, guys. Like I said, on Saturday, I'll be back with Rampage. Should be a fun Rampage episode on Friday. And then obviously I'll be back next week for Winter's Coming. But thank you for joining me. If you'd like to see it, click that like. If you want to see more of these videos, click that subscribe. Will help out the video. But thank you all. I am H2 Be back Saturday and next week. So be safe. I'll be back. Peace.